Welcome back to a new video. This is the first workout of the week that I did on Sunday. I started out the workout with some muscle snatches. I took bigger jumps than normal because I had a lot of snatches to do, a lot of heavy singles, or at least a lot of potential heavy singles. So I went from 40, 60, 80, and then moved on to snatches. The snatch work started at 105, and the first rep that I did at 105 was pretty ugly. I had to run forward a lot, but I was able to build up from there. Able to get all the way up to 117, where I missed that twice, but then thankfully I was actually able to do drop sets. It's really difficult to go up to a weight and miss it, and then have the motivation or energy to go back down to a lighter weight, especially if it's not hyper light. So going from 117 to 111 is a pretty big drop down, but it still felt extremely heavy. And when I went back down to 111, I made it the first time because I still had two singles, missed it the second time, and then I made it again on the very last rep. The app wanted me to stop after the last miss there with 111, but I wanted to end on a make, so I was able to do a better rep there. But snatches were pretty decent. I wasn't feeling particularly great on this day as far as like the speed of the pull or the pull under, so I was glad I was able to get up to whatever weight I was, 114 I believe was the heaviest I was able to snatch, and I was able to take, I think, decent attempts at 117, but of course I always want to be able to do more, and I believe last week I might have been able to get up to like 120, but I was certainly a lot fresher, at the start of a program, and it kind of makes sense that I'm not going to be, perfectly peaked on a day like this where I just have to do a bunch of work, and it's not like, I had a day off the previous day. I worked pretty hard out. I worked out pretty hard yesterday as well with the snatch balances and the rack jerks and whatnot. But that is kind of the detriment to doing an extra session like that, is it will fatigue you a little bit. But I think in the long term, I think it will be good to have that extra session where I'm able to push some sort of positional movement that will be beneficial for either snatchers or clean jerks, in the case for both of them. I'm going to see there 108, 111. I was happy with how these are moving. It was odd because I felt like I wasn't moving that fast, and I didn't feel like I was that poppy on this day, as Ivan might say. But I was catching it, or at least I felt like I was catching it in decent positions. 114 definitely felt heavy, at least from where I was catching it, a little bit forward. And then here, I just wasn't able to get it back enough. You see there, it wasn't so far away, but I was just too slow on both these reps. Yeah. So not terrible reps, but just too much for the day. And then this is 111, so I was able to make this one. I was quite happy with how this rep felt. It felt really weird though. It felt extremely heavy for some reason. I thought it would feel a lot lighter, but I guess it's still 111. And then this one, I just went too far forward and wasn't able to save it. So obviously really close there, but this one I was able to save, and not very pretty. I had to drift all over the place. See, my foot's coming up and had to rebalance, but it is what it is. And then for clean jerks, I had to do pause above the knee, power clean, plus pause jerk, which this clean variation sucks, but I think I'll slowly get better at it. It feels right now how hang cleans felt for a while above the knee, where they felt like I just couldn't get any leverage on them and couldn't get a good pull on the bar. So hopefully they get better, because it's a different movement, and I would say probably the position of the clean that I'm the weakest at, above the knee, since normally I'm able to just generate so much speed that I can just kind of pull under the bar. But I think if I improve my mechanics in that kind of the second pull area of the clean, that I'll be more consistent with catching the bounce. And I'm not terribly inconsistent with the clean, so I'm not that worried about it, but it at a minimum makes the load lighter. I'm not going to be able to get up to 140 kilos in a pause above the knee clean or power clean of any sort. But the jerks I'm quite happy with. They felt really good. This is 110 here. Power clean was very difficult. I see I was having to pitch forward a little bit to be able to secure that. What's really nice is now I can just kind of work out hard. I'm not really thinking about my back too much. And I was actually able to do the pin squats that they had programmed. I believe last week I did these up to like 130 or 140 just for singles, but I was able to stick to the program. I think it was originally 166, so I just did 165, and it was 3 doubles, and I was able to actually work up to that. I was having an issue with the rack, so I actually realized you kind of could, if you're an astute observer, you might have been noticed on that 110, but the collars were what the problem was. So it's not that I'm necessarily, yeah, you can see there, it's not that I'm going down super uneven, but the actual collars are catching on one side. And so in some of the reps where I land even, I think That one was decent, but like I'm not going to ever land perfectly symmetrical. And then that was actually one that I kind of landed symmetrical on both sides. If the collar is hit on some side, then it's going to feel like it's really wonky. So I do have to be aware of that and just be really precise when I'm walking out. So it is kind of difficult in that sense, but they actually felt pretty decent. And I was actually feeling them in my legs, which is really interesting. I didn't obviously feel very fast or explosive with them, but I think this is a good height. I think if I went any lower, I'd be really having to use my back to initiate the lift. With this, I'm really just thinking about trying to push my knees forward as I'm standing up, and essentially it's just in the bad part of the squat for me. So I don't know. I don't envision me really playing with the level that much, because I don't think that as I get later into this, I think it's 8-week program, that I'll be continuing to get them a ton, but it's kind of just a interesting variation. And if I get sick of them, I'll probably just swap them out for pauses. The workout ended with some snatch pulls, as you see here, which is 142. Was happy that I'm able to pull without any issues, even when my back was, being weird. But even after those back squats, so I was worried that would strain, like I would actually start to feel something. But all the squats felt good. I didn't have any issues walking the weights or anything. So I think for the most part, I'm past it now. It's just trying to get stronger, which is certainly a workout that will do that. But a lot of difficult work. The snatches were quite fun, just to have a bunch of singles, but everything else was just normal volume. But productive day, productive start of the week. But that's it for this one. I'll talk to you on the next one, and I hope you have a great day. Peace.